Matron, take them away. Oh.
Morning, guys. Hope you're well. Picked a message up off Dwayne about the way that I put fibs in recently on cable. And I thought I'd just explain it a little bit. It's not out of the ordinary, but let me drop the camera on and I'll kind of show you. It was mainly on the monthly. So what I'll do is I'll just drop these blue off for a second, just so I'm not swamping everything. Okay, easily drop them back in a bit later. And the question was about why the monthly fib was further back. Well, let me explain this in a way. Rather than just drop all of these in, if you can imagine big picture trading, and that's what we're trying to do all the time. All right. You're trying to align yourself with the big picture, because at least then you're swimming in the current and not swimming against it. But where is the big picture? Well, if you think of power of three and the way that I work things out, when I look at a monthly chart, I'm looking to break it into three sections. Okay. I know that roughly around this area, so if I just draw a thick line on here, sort of there, just so you can see it, thicken that up. There you go. I would find probably a day fib in there. Duplicate this. And I'd probably find a weekly fib in there. So I've got three sections of what I'm looking at. So this is the big picture. And the reason why I break it down this way is because it's pretty much been going sideways. And I want to funnel in to the strongest fib. Well, if I put a monthly on there, I wouldn't be drawing any other fibs in at all. None whatsoever. Because it's gone pretty much straight down. So what I wanted to do was see what the chart was actually doing by validating each other. So the first one was obviously here. So if I drop my retracement on, I can see the strongest move was there, which give me my pivotal point, which is the 23 and the 38. And I could even drop in the 50, so you can see it, which is there. Right. And that gave me key levels that ran straight through the chart. So when I drop into the 50, I can actually see where these pivotal moments are. Okay. And as you can see, that 23 lined up perfectly with a weekly level, and it ran right the way through it. Now, I also wanted to see whether it's staying inside or outside the expansions. So if I dropped an expansion onto this, which is here, down onto there, back up to where it came from, and I can see what's going on. Well, there's your 50, so my lineup was correct. There's the 127 expansion, which it went to the pip. So what I also know through experience and history and one thing or another, if it's rejecting the 127, it's coming back to the playing field. Well, if it's coming back to the playing field, the first checkpoint is the 100, which is this level here. Well, it's broke through that level. So where's its next checkpoint? Well, it's going to be up, finding its way to the 23, which is up here. Okay. So if that's the case, right, okay, that's got all these levels to run up to. So this is kind of the upper target at the moment. And then obviously here and here, but they're miles away. Okay. So the next section of this is, okay, let's figure out what we're going to do with a weekly. And then obviously you move down into this section here. And again, you're breaking it up and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So again, you look for the last completed leg Well, the last completed leg is in and around this area, so you can flick through and you can have a look and go, well, is it this one? Is it here, this section? Or is it into this? Well, if we draw fibs in and you can start building this up, you'll start seeing fib up there to that. And it's this section. And why? Well, I can see a definitive low down here. See the definitive high up here. And it is the last completed section before it fell off the cliff. So what can we see now? We start looking. Well, that runs through. And again, it's validating a level that's already there. The 38 is pretty much validating this level. And if we look at the price, kaping, kaping, straight down into it. What happens to be there? Well, it's the 23 validating this level. Okay, happy days. So what happened there? Created the stall point. There's your 50, bang on. Down to the 61, stall. 76 is validated with this. Now, because the price is moving up this way and we contain solid between 0 and 100, there's no real point putting on my expansions because I can't, it's going to take it a long time to break those 2 points. Take it to the daily. And now we're looking to see what we can pick out of this. And as you can see, there is knuckle. So what we've done is we've broke it right down. Pull this down and you can see there's nothing there. So what I've done is I've used the big time frames to map out what's going on. There's no point putting any other fibs into this because I would just be putting a fib in for the sake of a fib. And you're working from the big funnel all the way down. Right, okay. So if there's no fibs to be seen, which there isn't really, I mean, you can use your expansion points. And I'll give you an example of that. So you can say, right, okay, I can see there was a big, strong move here. There was. And it retraced down, it rejected, found the level and moved up. So you can go, right, okay, what is the expansion of this move? Well, if you go from there to there and back again, it'll start showing you where the expansions are. But what's it really telling you? Well, it's telling you that that level is pretty much cock on, which it is. From this, it comes onto that. And then the 161 pushes up, bang onto a stall point, telling you this was a strong area. And we know it's a strong area because it failed. And when it cracked through, it came back. And then when you run it up to the top, to the 261, it's then confirming my sort of prediction earlier on that if it is breaking the 127, going back to the 0 on the monthly, it's going to work its way back to the 23. Well, there's your 23 here. And this move here is telling you that's where it's going. Right? That's what it's trying to achieve. Okay. Very, very simple. But again, it's a daily chart. And if you're looking at the comparison, if we just sort of follow this path. So if I get just a little point there, just so that we can kind of see its trajectory. Its trajectory is roughly there. That's going to take it to January to get there. All right, roughly, if it just stays on that path. So don't need to worry about that. Don't need to put it on the chart. Drop it down into an hourly, and then you can just pick out some hourly fibs to find entry exits of what you're after. And that can be sort of off here. You can have this big drop down here. You can see that is a colossal drop. So what's happened with that? Oh, again, you go, well, if I'm after a retracement, so it got from there down to there, that means its upper target is probably this one. if it's coming through, which is, that will be the first one there, if it breaks the tops. So it's coming here. So that's what the expansions are. Why would you do that? Well, if I just drop an expansion onto this, so you can see an expansion there, and then back again. Well, what do you know? That move, which you can see is a significant drop, it never looked back, and you could look to see where it's going to bottom out. Well, sure enough, there's your 127, which we know is a bottom point. It probed into that fib from the weekly, and if you look at this, it was to the pip, came back to it to the pip, then went on its merry journey all the way back up. It looks like it's going to look to break the tops of this, and if it breaks the tops of that, that's where it's going. Simple stuff. So that's kind of looking at fibs to paint a picture of what the chart is, and hope it helps. Genuinely do. So there you go, Dwayne. I hope that clears things up for you. Catch you soon.